Hello, and welcome back to the Girls on Main Street USA podcast.
Yeah.
We're very excited for this episode. It's our first forecast episode.
Yes.
But how was your week? I haven't talked to you since the last time we got together.
What's happened? It's just been good. Normal mom stuff.
Yeah.
Finally caught up on some laundry, but yeah. How about you?
I have been trying to get my family on a trip to Disneyland by the end of the year.
Ooh.
And my brother is helping coach basketball in Kanab.
Okay.
And my brother is starting football and basketball. So November
that's-
is a really great time to go, but that is the height of basketball.
Yeah.
So they're like, let's go in October. And their fall break doesn't align with my fall break. So
Yay!
great time. But I always say it's better to miss school than miss time with your family.
Yeah, especially on a Disney trip.
100%. Because if going means that, like, yeah, sure, the crowds are a little bit higher, but you get to be there with people that you actually enjoy being around, that's a totally fine toss-up.
But also, how long has it been since you've been on an actual Disney trip with just your family, including your husband? Because I don't think you've gone with your family since you've been married.
Yeah. It's been since October of 2018.
Oh, gosh.
And
so
we're
you're
hopefully,
itching.
Yeah, and we're hopefully going to be going October of this year.
Okay.
So it will be,
Like,
oh gosh,
almost
math.
6 years? The better part of 6 years?
Yeah. That was right before I left on my mission,
Yeah.
and everything went crazy.
The world died.
Yeah, because we left, and then COVID happened that last 5 weeks that we were out.
Yep.
And
It was a nightmare.
I'm not a narcissistic person, but not being able to come home and have this, like, grand thing of me being like, yes, I returned, I did it.
Well, right?
It was just so weird.
We were planning to go to Hawaii, and we couldn't.
gosh.
Like, we ended up just going back to our mission.
But honestly, I think I loved that road trip more than I would have. Well, toss up, it's Hawaii.
Yeah.
But it was a great time. We got to walk around Nauvoo with nobody there.
Yeah, and it was really good, I think, just in general for us to go and visit the places that we did, and like, it was really a blast.
Yeah.
So
I learned that I
agree.
am totally okay to drive from, I think I was the driver from 1 a.m. to 7 a.m.
yeah, it was
I can do hard things.
it was the worst part of the drive from Nebraska to Utah.
Yeah,
So,
it was fine. I made it on a monster.
yeah.
We're totally good.
I think I have a picture of us wearing our matching sweatshirts and I was drinking almond milk out of the carton with a straw because I didn't want to have caffeine, because I was like, I'm just going, I don't need any extra hype, but
Yeah.
And now I don't drink almond milk anymore.
Me either. I tried doing it in high school for a little bit because I was trying to be a serious performer. So I was like, I'm going off dairy. And I think I lasted 2 weeks.
Cheese is the worst thing to cut out.
I love cereal so much. And having to eat cereal with almond water is gross. I'm sorry to people who are almond milk truthers, but you guys can keep it. I'll stay with the dairy milk.
Yeah. But that's totally off topic, so...
Yeah, let's take a dive into September. Okay, Utahns, let's go to Disney. Okay, welcome back.
Yes.
Let's get into it. All of our sources will be cited either in the captions, or I think I'm going to try and hyperlink them into the YouTube video, just so that if you want to take a look at these yourselves, you don't want to have to stop and screenshot the videos. You can go and look at these as well, just so you know where we're getting all of our information, and we're not just trying to pass it off as our own research, because
Yes.
I am not as detailed as these people are. They're amazing.
They are.
But yeah, let's start with the crowd calendar.
Yes. For those of you who are just listening, the crowd calendar is a website that you can find. You can look at it yourself. It has a color scale of what the days are predicted to be. So red, orange, yellow are heavy, above average, and average crowds in that order. And then blue and green are below average and very light crowds.
Yeah.
So we're just looking at the month of September for right now.
And September looks so good. There's only one day that goes above a yellow, but this is really mostly because this is right when school has gotten back in for most people. They don't want to take their kids out before fall break, so this is the ideal time to go. If you are willing to skip work, especially to go on a weekday, or if you're willing to take your kids out of school this early in the school year, this is the most perfect time to go. You might not even need to buy Lightning Lane Plus.
Oh yeah,
to be completely honest.
And especially if this stays as similar as it does towards the end of the month, you know, as we're talking about here right at the beginning of the month, because I'm fairly confident that those first 2 weeks will stay pretty similar to how we're predicting them to be. But those last 2 weeks might be a little bit more dicey. I'm not gonna lie. But this is pretty spot on, especially for like a little bit of a projection as well towards the end of the month. That first, I actually had never thought about going the weekend after Memorial Day weekend or Labor Day weekend. I always do this.
Because the one that you can't wear, the one that you can't wear white shoes after. I don't know.
Yeah, that. When you're fashion, no. Anyway, that first weekend, so it would be Thursday the 5th, 6th, and 7th, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 5 and 6 are greenlit for both California Adventure and Disneyland. And I had never thought of like that being a prime time to go to Disneyland, but it really is.
No, yeah, I was going to get into this more once we got to the weather, but my husband and I went September of 22, I think. Oh my gosh, what a great time. And it was his first time going outside of coming for high school because, fun fact, he played in the largest marching band in the U.S.
Oh, wow.
And so when he was, I can't remember if it was junior or senior, he got to come to Anaheim. They played at the Rose Bowl. They got to go through, like, they got to parade through.
That's freaking crazy.
Yeah, where they do that. And then,
so they were like the Disneyland band on Main Street.
Yeah.
Wow, what a surreal experience.
Huge. Like, if you look at YouTube videos, Allen High School.
Okay.
Ginormous band. Like, when in his yearbook, they have, like, a fold-out of the band, and his face is still only, like, this big.
Just a pixel.
Like, you have to, like, go like this and look at it. It's
wow.
He's so small on the. It's just huge.
So
but yeah, that was the last time he got to go. So he was there with a bunch of high schoolers, and I think they were there around like springtime, which springtime is an okay time to go just because of the weather, but it's spring break season, which is not fun.
Yes.
But yeah, when we went, it was awesome. It was the beginning of Halloween time, and he loves trying new foods. So they had all of the fun new Halloween churros out, pretty much everything we got to go on, all the themed rides, and he got to experience Disney with an experienced Disney person for the first time, and with really light crowds. Like, we bought Genie Plus while it was still Genie Plus, and we didn't even really need to use it outside of Rise of the Resistance, but even then, we had to pay for it.
Yeah.
Worthwhile experience for the first time experiencing Rise of the Resistance. Love that ride.
Yes.
One day I'll go through the line, but not anytime soon.
The line really isn't too bad. You just have to have all of the things that you're going to do for your line experience downloaded onto your device, because that queue goes out in and out of service really good.
That's true, yeah, because you're like going underground most of the time.
And you're just in like cement domes.
Yeah. Which I don't know if they still do this, but heads up, if you download the game in the park, I think you get 4 games for free.
Yes.
And you get to keep them on your phone. Which I love heads up. It's always so fun to play with your family, and then other people in the line always happen to join in too. So it's fun. Yeah. I love being at Disney. But yeah, a lot of fall breaks are happening during September, but more sporadically. Yeah. So like I was talking in the beginning, my fall break doesn't align with my brother's. So mine's a Thursday, Friday, and theirs is a Monday, Tuesday.
Oh, interesting.
So starting from September through October, there's going to be a lot of fall breaks, just sporadically through both of the months. But they're, of course, no one's at the same time. So it's just a nice time to be there.
Yeah. Or if you're other Disney adults going for like birthday trips, or you just want to get in and have like an exceptionally chill Disney vacation, that is such a good option for you.
100%. I've always dreamed of being able to go and do a no-ride day. And this would be one of those times. I mean, if you're there for 3 days, of course, you want to ride the rides. But this would be such a great day because you can actually sit at the front for parades. Like, you get prime parade spots. You can get prime fireworks spots. You don't have to worry about rushing anywhere.
Yeah. Do all of the little rides, the carriage rides,
probably even
rides.
Like walk-on reservations. Like, you don't even have to think about making a reservation for restaurants.
Yeah.
Which we do that for you.
Yeah.
So if you do want to get into a restaurant, let us know. We have alarms set for that.
Yes.
But let's take a look at the weather.
Okay.
Now, September, of course, California is one of the best places to vacation if you like warm but not super hot weather. Mm-hmm. Yes, it is humid, but especially in September, it just looks beautiful.
Yeah. And, you know, you might want to pack an umbrella because they did run into quite a bit of rain last year. Mm-hmm. And we did run into quite a bit of rain last year, and weather can be a little bit more dicey. Utah, we've been in a huge, like, monsoon season, it feels like. It's just been dumping, and which has been really great for me to not have to water my hydrangeas, but dang.
Yeah, my sunflowers are loving this, and my husband loves it too because it's constant thunderstorms. And like I said, he's from Texas, so like thunderstorms are like his business. I don't like them. So he just sits there and he's like, this is so relaxing. What are you talking about? And I'm like, I feel like if I step outside, I'm going to get struck by lightning. But I love you. But the last time we went, we were wearing shorts during the day. And then, of course, it was a great excuse to buy a Spirit jersey because you definitely need long sleeves by the end of the night. I hate
when I have to buy things.
I know. Gosh, I hate having to match my husband in cute Spirit jerseys. Dang it.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, great excuse to change. But also, when we went, going home in the middle of the day to change, lifesaver. And we'll definitely talk about that more like on an actual tips episode.
Yes.
Being able to actually change, have multiple seasons throughout the day so you're not just sweating in your clothes all day is wonderful.
Yes. I would highly recommend like planning for a midday break, whether it's planning around children's nap times, planning around adults' nap times, because sometimes we just need to fight that little afternoon hump and then we're good. Because, too, I think that there really is the Disney burnout, where you go hard your first day, and if you have a park hopper, you go even harder because you want to hit both parks, so you're just trying to knock everything out. And then you get to the end of your day, which happens to be like 5 or 6 o'clock, and you're like, yeah, I just want to go back to the hotel and sleep and then not rope drop tomorrow. But if you want to rope drop, I'm always big on rope dropping. There's something magical about that, just like the emptiness of the main street becoming crowded and like seeing everyone count down with you. Like there's a lot of really fun anticipation there. But the nighttime Disneyland dusk brings a whole new just like ambiance and romance and just you're the little kid staying up past your bedtime magic. Like I love it.
I love Disneyland. It just, like you were talking about rope drop, it's just magical because you get to feel that, like that magic of the first day of the park. Even though, you know, it's not the 1950s anymore, you still get to feel that magic of being able to come into the park and understanding what Walt's vision was for the Disney company and especially the Disney parks.
I think too, like it's really important to add his vision for his daughters. We are huge Bluey fans in this house. And we have a daughter, and that like seeing how like yes, I know how my dad and I father-daughtered, but seeing or envisioning and dreaming for my daughter what she can have with her dad, and then being like, this man, he didn't just do this because he could or he wanted to. Like, there was also a big part of his dad self that was like, these are my girls. They need just as fun of a place to be as I want in my life too. Like,
yeah, and that's one of the main reasons why my family and I kept going is because I'm a daddy's girl. What can I say? I'm the first daughter, she's the last daughter, but we're both the only daughters,
Yes.
so it's the best. But yeah, my parents tell me that seeing my face, like seeing the princesses and being able to witness, not me crying again, being able to witness the magic of Disney through a child's eyes is what kept us going every single year. Even the one year I got lost, we still came back. We'll definitely tell that story later, but
Nightmare.
shout out to my Uncle Mike. Love you. But yeah, the weather looks great for September.
It really does. And hot days, cold nights, lows are in the mid to high 60s, highs are in the mid to high 80s. So really a nice little flux there.
But yeah, Disney has such a great wide array of treats.
Yes.
You can get a refreshing Coke in the morning with the cute little Star Wars bottles, and then you can end your night with a nice hot chocolate.
Yeah. From Jolly Holiday.
Starting the day with a refrigerated raspberry macaron.
Oh my gosh. That was so fun.
I still dream about that.
Even if starting the day and having that macaroon isn't until like 10, it's still starting your day.
It's a wonderful start to the day.
Food is just another restart for your day.
Yeah. But regardless of the weather, please wear sunscreen. Please drink a lot of fluids. We're both massage therapists, and we understand the importance of taking care of your body in every which way possible.
Lots of electrolytes, just random bits of information. There's Gatorades, Powerades. Those are a great source of electrolytes. Chocolate milk is another great source, and pickles. If you are prone to getting like leg cramps, calf cramps, arch cramps, whatever, drinking pickle juice will help that, but just maintain liquidation and frequent urination. Like, it sounds dumb and annoying, but Disney has bathrooms everywhere for a reason.
Yeah, and water fountains. You can bring the water bottle into the park.
Yeah. A lot of people don't think that you can bring external foods into the park. That you can pack your own lunches, you can bring your own stuff in. It just has to go through security to make sure that everyone's staying safe and happy.
Yeah, that's what saved my family a lot of money, is they would spend a little bit more on a hotel that had like
closer destination.
Well, yeah, closer destination, and it had like a decent sized fridge or continental breakfast, and then we would keep all of our food. Well, we'd bring a lot of snacks. My mom sometimes would pack us lunch, and then we wouldn't have to spend so much through the day. We could just enjoy the park, and we didn't have to stop and eat all the time, except for a churro. You have to get a churro. Have to get a pickle.
Have your own. My sister-in-law, she has her very own churro spending money that she's like, this only is churro stuff, and that is my yes, we need that.
Yeah.
But are we ready to look back at the ticket availability?
Yes. So if you're wanting to book a last minute trip, let's take a look at ticket availability. So we, of course, are seeing very low crowds for September. It's very common with school coming back in. But it looks to be like for both Park Hopper and one park per day tickets, it is pretty empty.
Yeah, available both parks, which is huge. So if you are like, I went and did a last minute trip. Well, I guess I've probably done two like pretty more last minute trips, like with less than a month worth of planning. They were looking really promising, and then it was like, boom, we needed to buy the Park Hopper because they just got sold, which was good that we had the Park Hopper option. We actually ended up using it because my other sister-in-law had an annual pass, and so we just stayed with her in the park, and that was so fun. It was right when Matterhorn reopened in October of 22, and it was so fun to do that. So
one day I'm gonna have an annual pass. One day we're gonna have an annual pass, and y'all are actually going to get really good updated information. We will be the best researchers that you've ever seen in your life.
The best Utah researchers, because we won't be going 3 times a day like some of our favorite TikTokers. But it's okay.
Yeah.
Or 3 times a week, not a day. But you know what I mean.
Maybe like once every 3 months.
Maybe more than that.
Once a month.
Maybe not. Once every 6 weeks. Well, Okay, we'll just buy a plane.
I don't know if I have to. All right, so if you are a Magic Key holder, though, let's look at the availability for the upcoming month.
And let's break down these tiers a little bit too, especially if you're not viewing our YouTube. Enchant, Inspire, and Believe keys. They are in ranking order of what, Kaylee?
The price you pay and your blockout dates. So the more you pay, the less blockout dates you have, obviously. And it also means the better like discounts that you get, because I think the two lower keys get 10% off of like merchandise and food, but the highest tier of key gets 15.
I thought it was 20.
20? I will double check that because that would be a good thing to know.
Hi guys, it's Editing Kaylee. I'm hopping on here to say yes, Annie is correct in saying that the highest tier of the Magic Key, the Inspire Key, does receive up to a 20% discount on Lightning Lane purchases and merchandise, but they do only receive up to a 15% discount on certain dining purchases.
Did they change policies from 2022 to 2023 when they like stopped? Okay, so if you're not aware, Disney had a CEO change in 2022, and actually we should be expecting another CEO change here in the next end of the quarter, beginning of 2025, maybe 2026, but I would expect 2025. We lost Bob Chapek. He was CEO. I don't know from when to when. I just remember the day that he was let go of the company, and so many cast members gladly tipped their hat to that. Mm-hmm. And he introduced the Magic Key. He was CEO when Magic Keys were introduced, and then they stopped the sales of Magic Keys in early 2023 and brought them back mid 2023 to then stop them again.
Yeah.
And then I think they revamped them from that.
Yeah.
Too. So
they are currently only available for renewal. And they did get rid of they had like another tier. It was the Dream Key. Yeah. It is still available for
that's for select California zip codes.
Yes. Oh, the Imagine Key, I think, is the one that they got rid of.
Yeah.
That one, if you heard about the lawsuit with Magic Keys, that's the one where I think they were mad about their blockout dates or something like that. Like, it was the highest tier. They weren't supposed to have blockout dates, but then they did, like, around the Christmas season.
That's right.
At, like, their most...
The 2 weeks around Christmas and New Year's.
So I think this is the last year for the Imagine Key. So we won't go over that, of course, because not a lot of people are part of the Imagine Key. It's mostly locals that really are Magic Key holders, and then Utah Disney influencers. But
yes,
honestly, for most of these, even on the lowest tier, if you go, I think like 4 or 5 times, and that's like per day.
Yeah, 4 or 5 days in the park.
Then that pays for the trip. That could be 2 separate trips. It could be 1 long trip, anything like that. But yeah, let's look at these. So the Inspire Key is at the top ranking.
Yeah, some blackout days.
Currently the blackout days are Friday the 6th and Sunday the 8th. But outside of that, the park is looking pretty open. Outside of the 15th, only Disneyland is available.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I mean, the 15th
is a Sunday, so...
Yeah, it's a weekend. Yeah. But a lot of times I've heard, I don't think that they still do this because of their updated like squatting policies, but there are a lot of people who are reservation squatters.
Yes.
So sometimes you can even wait till day of and reservations will pop open. Sometimes they'll even open up like halfway through the day if they don't feel like their capacity has been met.
That's true.
They'll open things up for pass holders.
And we definitely can dedicate an episode to just food rounds because there's a lot that goes into dining experiences and reservations and big groups, little groups, group reservation ideas. So these are some good tips, but we'll get you covered on some good ones.
Yeah,
some
especially
bigger
now
ones.
with how busy the park is. When people usually visit, you're going to want to know more about reservations and the reservation system.
And really, I feel like what Disney's up against as of late, because there have been, I don't know if they're rumors, if they're true, I've just heard around that Disney has actually been losing some money because they have more annual pass holders who go frequent the parks than people who are actually coming into the parks, which is just going to go countrywide with the silent depression that we're living in, essentially. You know, everywhere we'll see a dip in things, and that's just going to be business love. But the parks will probably stay more open to guest reservations and more closed to dining reservations because of those dining squatters.
Yeah, 100%. Because we had that super surge after the parks opened because everyone was doing revenge traveling. But now we're going back down because vacation is so expensive, especially at the Disney park.
Yeah.
Every company wants to make money. Every company needs to make money in order to survive. But sometimes you lose your customer base that way.
Yes.
Especially for Utahns. I mean, that's why we made this podcast, is because we want to help you guys get there because it's so expensive. But Utah is such a huge demographic for the Disney parks. Like we talked about in the first episode, Disney is, for the most part, family-friendly entertainment.
Yeah.
And what are Utahns always looking for? Family-friendly entertainment.
Yes.
A lot of big families here, a lot of families that really do enjoy being around each other and they want to go out and do stuff that's fun, that's magical. You know, places where your kids can see the people that they see on their screens. Like Bluey, Princess Aurora, Captain Jack Sparrow, if he's out. Olaf. Just all of these things. But we want to get you guys to the parks if you're wanting to go to the park. We want to go to the park. But that's why we're giving you all this information.
Dreams to reality. Like, my husband and I, we went on our anniversary trip, and that was in August. And we're August 12th is when our anniversary is. So just before school starts. And I was 100% anticipating, especially because our anniversary day landed on like a Saturday, that we were just going to get toast with park influx. And it was like, we should not have bought Genie Plus at the time.
Even with like the price reduction?
Because we didn't need it. You know, lines were manageable for what we felt. Like 45 minutes. Everything was pretty much under an hour.
That's a great time.
And we got into Rise of the Resistance at an 80-minute wait time, and we waited like exactly 80 minutes. And it was I was like, wow, this was super impressive. And so that was really, really fun.
Yeah, that is, I mean, that's good to know, of course, for people who want to go.
But we were talking about budget. Sorry, let me get back to that. So we were like, holy crap, because this was actually the trip that I booked with Kaylee. It was my first travel agent experience with her being my travel agent. We were like, wow, did we really do this all on like a very like great budget? Yeah, we did. And so it was really awesome for us to be like, oh yeah, this is doable. Yeah. We can do it more. And then we went back in October.
Yeah. It's a great time. I will say, like, we'll go more into this because I'm hoping with the next episode we can, like, live budget plan the trip that I'm taking with my family.
Oh, yeah.
So we can talk about this a little bit more. But the average trip for 2 people is around $1,200. And that's your hotel and tickets.
Not flights there, but
yeah,
that's still, like, you can easy to budget quick things.
Yeah. 100%. And you can drive too. Everyone, yeah. It's a great drive from Utah. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
But let's look on the next tier of Magic Key. So we've got the Believe Key. This is just a step down
Yes.
from Inspire. Only blockout date, it's looking like Monday the 2nd of September. Pretty open. It's really only the 1st and the 8th that has some limit to it. It's just only California Adventure for both days.
There's not special events for Halloween special events. They do not start until October, correct?
They have already started.
Oh, so like Oogie Boogie Bash, I thought that was only exclusive to October.
No, they actually have started it early because they want to make, they want to make money on tickets, but there's so many people who want to come to the Oogie Boogie Bash, and we'll talk about this a little bit later as well. Yeah. There's so many people that want to come. They've started Halloween in August, and they usually start in September. Yeah, I think it started.
That's right.
Halloween started last week.
No,
I think
on the 23rd. Oh wait, yeah, that is last week. Hello.
Well, it was like
I'm here.
Well, that's what 2 days ago.
Yeah, from the time we're recording this.
Yeah.
But yeah, on the 23rd. So yeah, I remember feeling like, don't we want to enjoy like one more summer grace stuff, one more like s'mores churros before their spooky s'mores churros.
Yeah. 100%.
I mean, they went from one event to the other. So it was Pixar Fest up until August 22nd, right?
Yeah, and it's pretty much going to be event season until the end of the year. Okay. Well, until January, because Christmas time lasts through January, just so the last few people who want to get on Haunted Mansion Holiday can get onto it before they close it, and Small World before their January refurbishments, because that's also a load time, but we'll talk about that in December. Moving on to the Enchant Key. Okay. So this is the lowest that you are currently able to buy. Not right now, of course, because it is only available for renewal. It seems like Saturdays are really the only times that are blocked out, but honestly for me, I don't like going on Saturdays anyways, because that's when everybody goes. Yes. And again, if the only day you can go is a Saturday, if the only day you can go is a Saturday, that's totally fine. I'm not shaming you for going on a weekend.
Not at all.
But I'm just a weekday person. That's just me.
I do have a question, because we did not know this when we went on our Disney trip. Well, we kind of did, but we kind of didn't. The fireworks schedule. Do fireworks run on Sundays or no?
It depends.
Okay.
They mostly run every other day so as to not affect the residents of Anaheim.
Is that during the summer, and then like they have their off season, so then it's like
I think it's
Fridays and Saturdays exclusively?
Yeah, so it's a little less when it's not summer, of course, because during the summer they want to get as many people to see the fireworks as possible, because that's when everybody's trying to travel before school starts.
Yes.
But yeah, once they get more into their less busy seasons, the fireworks are less often, but you can always check scheduled day of. You can look at like your My Disneyland Experience app, or you can check the website and you can see what events are going on the days that you're going. You can check, I think, up to a year in advance. I think right now, most agents can book well into 2025, so most of the events should also be seen. Okay. They haven't announced, of course, their After Dark events for next year, but those usually come in relation to when they're happening.
Yes.
So, like, Oogie Boogie Bash tickets go on sale in July, but they're in August, September, and October, those kinds of things.
And something to be aware, if you are an Oogie Boogie Basher specifically, they sell out pretty much day of. So you have to be on the ball, finger on the pulse, all of the things with the Oogie Boogie Bash, because it is so hard to get into.
Yeah, and on top of that, annual pass holders get early access to the tickets too. And Disneyland is very locals focused, I would say.
Oh yeah.
Anyone that you listen to, like vloggers, influencers, anything, they will most definitely say that California is for locals, Florida is for tourists.
Yes.
And you can definitely see that in the budget as well. I mean, with how many parks Walt Disney World has versus Disneyland, all the retheming that they do at Walt Disney World versus Disneyland, because Disneyland is Walt's baby.
Yep.
Walt of course, had a hand in Walt Disney World. He passed before the park was open, but it's not as much of Walt's vision as Disneyland is, and they really want to try and keep that as best as possible.
Yeah.
But they also only have so far to build when the city of Anaheim was built around Disneyland.
So true. But that will also be another fun thing for us to look into is expansion of parks and how California Adventure and Disneyland will be expanding to include more on Avengers Campus, to include Pandora to an extent. And if you haven't been to Disney World, the riverboat ride, the Pandora riverboat ride is so cool. I love that.
But speaking of riverboats, I think the new Cars ride in Walt Disney World is going to be taking over the Rivers of America in Walt Disney World.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We did talk about that.
Which is kind of a happy sad because Walt Disney loved Mark Twain. That's why the Mark Twain boats go around Tom Sawyer Island. But of course there are some, insensitivities regarding Tom Sawyer's Island. So not a lot of people really, and not a lot of people today really have a tie to Tom Sawyer outside of like reading it in school. If they even read it in school anymore.
Yeah. And that makes sense for Disney World specifically because it is such a worldwide attraction in itself. So that, total happy, sad thing. Same thing with Splash Mountain. Happy to see something new and things, vision expanding. So sad to get rid of the laughing place.
Yeah. I
will miss those chickens dancing.
Oh my gosh, yes. And just the scene, I don't know what it is, but it's ingrained in my brain of Brer Bear getting dipped
and
into
the
water.
Anxiety of needing to see his tail get wet.
Yes. Because I also always knew that was an animatronic, and I'm like, what happens when it gets in the water? What if they dip him too far? That fox can't hold him up.
It's so true. And then when we went through the last time, I was like, it's probably just empty.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he moves. He just goes like this. Over and over again all day.
The string.
Yeah. But, yeah, we will miss it, but Tiana's looks just as magical.
So excited.
I haven't been able to go.
It's open.
It's open at Walt Disney World. They still don't have an official...
Oh.
They don't have an official day.
Oh.
But I feel like they're going to be soft launching it for pass holders and influencers in the next month or so.
That's fair.
Because if they do have an opening date by the end of the year, which I know that they are very close, they're just going to be soft launching it just so that they can make sure that it's still safe and everything's working before they open it up to the public. Because Crater County as a whole is completely closed.
Yeah. Pooh. Pooh is open. Poor Pooh.
Yeah.
Those lone Pooh. You can get your pictures with Tigger. Get your Tigger tails. There's so many good... Actually, Pooh's Corner is actually my favorite little trinket place.
It's so chill back there.
They have lots of cute pet stuff there.
And have you seen all the new stuff they're going to be adding to, Country Bear Hall?
No?
They're adding a big old brisket sandwich. All this barbecue stuff that they're adding. My husband, again, from Texas, I showed him all this stuff and he's like, I think we may have to go. Because he's not as big of a Disney person as I am.
Right.
But we are barbecue people.
Yes. Well, Texas, Kansas. My brother, he puts on a barbecue competition. Well, my brothers and my dad in their county, and it is a large attraction, judged, big thing. I can't eat a steak anywhere other than at my parents' house because I am that picky and they've ruined me. But
no, 100%. Yeah. The only two places I can really eat brisket before Disneyland, we've got to try it out first, are my father-in-law's house, amazing brisket, and Silver Dollar City, which is, for Utahns who know Lagoon, it's like if Lagoon was entirely Pioneer Village, but they have people walking around like Disneyland used to have, so they have citizens of Silver Dollar City that walk around
They
and
have
interact with you.
NPCs.
Yes. Honestly,
Dude.
if you're a big fan of Disney but you want to go somewhere else, go to Silver Dollar City.
Mm-hmm.
Their sister park is Dollywood. They're owned by great people.
Yeah.
It's a great place to go.
As my mom would say, good salt of the earth people.
Yes, 100%. And it's in Branson, and they have so much stuff in Branson, Missouri.
Fun.
But speaking of, going back to Oogie Boogie Bash, let's talk about the upcoming dates for the Oogie Boogie Bash.
Yes.
Just so then if you are planning to go in September, if you have a trip planned, you can make sure that you are at least out of the park on these days.
For sure.
So let's see, we've got September 3rd, 10th, 12th, 15th, 17th, 19th, 22nd, 24th, 26th, and 29th.
Most of those are Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. I think that's what they all are. Tuesdays, Thursdays, Sundays. So if one of those days is in your trip, you can plan it for a beach day. You could plan it for your off day. You could go and tour what was Wet Industries and see where the actual animation studios are and tour some really amazing just like Disney historic sites, which is probably like number one on my Disney bucket list right now. Like I am dying to go and do the deep dive history of those amazing places.
100%. I love watching, there's this one Disney vlogger, his name is Justin Scard. His YouTube channel is So Random Land, and he goes into deep dives of Disneyland history and the history of Anaheim in general, like Orange County. I love his videos because I get to kind of experience those before I actually have the chance to go, and it just makes me so much more excited because there's so much more to Southern California than just Disneyland, Universal, SeaWorld.
It's true. I've actually never been to SeaWorld or Universal California. But I do hope to go to Mario Land sometime.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It looks so cool. I see the billboard as I drive home from work every night because it's right across the highway from UVU. I work in Pleasant Grove, live in the Provo area, so I drive past it every day and I'm like, oh, one day.
True.
But yes, but if you do have very limited time and you are in the park, if you have a park hopper for that day, you are more than welcome to start in California Adventure. You just have to be out of the park by 6 p.m. If you have a ticket to Oogie Boogie Bash, though, you are allowed to go into the park as early as 4, and then the party starts at 6.
Okay.
If you don't have a ticket, they will kick you out because they give you wristbands when you check in, and they will find you.
And they do that with, like, all of their special events. And Oogie Boogie takes place in California Adventure. And California Adventure does close, I think it's 2 hours earlier. If you skip World of Color and you just, like, go home right at 9, then it's 3 hours earlier than Disneyland. So that's when you see normally a big influx on people going back over to Disneyland. But it's just whatever you prefer at that point.
It's never anything too extreme where you have to, like, completely avoid it altogether. You just have to be aware that there's suddenly going to be more people at Disneyland if they are park hopping.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the night, you can go to World of Color, and if you walk fast enough, you can also see the fireworks in the same night, as long as they are going on the same night.
Yeah, that's true. We have done that before, too. Was it you and I? Oh, maybe it was me and Enoch. I think maybe it was Enoch and I. That's my husband's name. He and I, we watched World of Color, and then we were headed home, and we were within walking distance of the park. It was a half a mile, so it was, like, longish, but I loved that. And we walked out, and we were just like, oh, we can just stand right here and enjoy the fireworks for a sec. Like, this is great. So,
yeah, and if you happen to be splurgers and you stay on resort, I would highly recommend staying at Paradise Pier. Well, as it stands right now, it's Paradise Pier.
yeah.
But you can go on up to the pool level, and you can watch the fireworks from the pool. Like, you can hear it and see everything from there. It's even advertised in, like, the listing for it on the agent's website that you can watch the fireworks from there, and it's a great view too. One day I'll get to stay there. It's like $1,000 a night, so one day.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but let's look at other things. So other rides and attractions that may be closed while you're there.
Yeah.
There is quite a bit closed just because of
It's
all the
that
refurbishments.
season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're trying to get things ready for Christmas time. They're trying to readjust new things in all the parks. So
There's 2 really big construction ride shutdown surges. One happens right after school starts, and the other one happens right after the Christmas break, late January, early February.
yeah. A big one though, if you are looking forward to getting on Indiana Jones is closed starting September 9th with no official return date, sadly. But Indiana Jones has always had a hard time
Yeah.
because of the gimbal that it's on. And I think they actually go into that in the Imagineering
It's
show on Disney Plus, right?
Behind the Attraction.
Yeah, Behind the Attraction.
And it's season 2, episode 1 or 2. It's really early on in season 2, and there's some really cool things about how Tony Baxter and his fellow Imagineers had designed that ride. It is in an exact, I don't know the dimensions, but it's an exact square that they have you going through. And they wanted the wheels on the cars to actually be able to turn even though you're on hydraulics. So there's lots of really cool just history of that ride. But one of my favoriteest, well, probably my favoriteest thing about that ride is when the boulder is rolling towards you and it is an optical illusion. The wall moves behind you and that triggers the boulder to roll.
That illusion has been explained to me so many times, and do I understand it? No.
No! And like, I learned that and I went and I was like, what? How? And then the floor just drops out from underneath you and you just go down and then that's the end. And, love it.
What? It's seriously a great ride.
What a
And
human brain.
It's so cool that even though it wasn't built until like the late 90s, it has become such an integral part of Disneyland that if it was ever to go away, it like Disneyland would not be the same. Same thing with like Pirates of the Caribbean or the Matterhorn. Like if those disappeared, what would it even be? It would not be Disneyland.
Yeah, it's so true. And I think that ride came out in 95. And so we got lots of really amazing things from Disney that year. We got Toy Story, we got the merge of Pixar, we got Indiana Jones. There's so many more things that I don't even know that we got.
Yeah. And I mean, not even to mention like the ride, but the line itself, to where it's like that's even a part of the ride. I mean, they don't make as much noise anymore because they're really trying to not encourage people to touch things as often, just because, you know,
Of spreading germs.
Lots of people get sick. I swear every time there's a smallpox resurgence, it always starts at Disneyland.
Sad.
Always.
It's true,
And did you see that TikTok video of that lady? She left her Stanley and someone else took it, and she's like, "Good luck with the impetigo that my kid left on it."
Whoa.
Yeah, a serious like virus. She took her kid with impetigo to Disneyland.
You guys, stay safe out there.
Please.
Always have your hand sanitizer.
Yes. Wash your hands. Please wash your hands.
Try not to touch your face.
Yes.
Don't, people always advise me to, like, treat your first, like, your second or third. Just be so hyperly germ sensitive to everything. And Disney makes it easy to be aware. They have trash cans everywhere. They have bathrooms in fairly accessible places. They have a mother's lounge, so you don't have to be nursing or dealing with a fussy baby in stressful situations. They really do. And cast members are trained to know where every single thing is, tell you how to get there. You can find the next best cast member, everyone. You can ask any cast member, and they will help you to get what you need.
Yeah, and always make sure if you ask them for help that you leave them a comment card on the website, because cast members are what make the park magic.
Yes.
They've just finished this whole strike that they were about to do, and they were actually granted a pay raise, which is so wonderful, because these people that work there, they want to be there. And sometimes making a living wage is so hard, but when the park can actually take care of their especially in California, and if places like Disney can take care of their cast member, like take care of their workers and their cast members better, it's going to make the park more magical and more enjoyable to be at, because if the cast members want to be there, you want to be there.
They want you to be there, so then symbiotic relationship.
100%.
But yeah, that is a very important thing. It's very easy to do. Maybe we can link a video of us just showing how that's done.
100%.
But you can do it easy, quick through your app. Make sure to grab their name, and that's all you need to do. Is this request is for Joan.
Yeah, I love cast members so much. Yeah. I don't think I've ever had a bad experience. Well, there was one time I wasn't watching where I was going, and I ran into someone who was sweeping, and I felt so bad because he was kind of angry with me, and I was just like, I'm really sorry that you have to pick up trash in the most magical place in the world. Fair enough. I'm so sorry. Well, okay, let's get back to other closures. Great moments with Mr. Lincoln.
That has been closed, too.
It's been closed forever.
One of our other favorite Disney influencers, who is also from Utah, Dear and Darling, Lily. She just went to D23, and Great Moments of Mr. Lincoln was closed, and that's her favorite attraction. Historically, like, no pun intended, but that is probably, like, my favorite attraction, too, if I'm thinking, like, park originals, because that was the very first animatronic that ever came to Disney.
That's true.
And so, like, good on you, Abe.
And what a amazing one, too. Like, it stands up. It, like, seems like it's actually talking to the audience. Like, it's such a cool thing. I mean, besides, of course, the main pirate in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably one of the greatest animatronics in the park. But
the main pioneer,
on top of that, we weren't Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln people, but my family was also, we have 2 days we need to get everything done, and Mr. Lincoln is not on the priority list. So we would, if we needed to go in there, it was mostly to look at the paintings and the history that they put up in there. Yeah, to chill.
Hit
great
some AC.
Yeah. Because they always have pictures up about the history of some part of the park, or they have like a scale model in there, and I love looking at that stuff. I love looking at those things. It's a Small World is going to be closing on September 16th till November 15th. They're going through their Christmas refurbishment, which November almost feels a little late to be reopening for Christmas.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they have a lot of things to turn over.
Oh, man. The Christmas overlay of that attraction, like, blows my mind, because they hide 25s in that ride. And I don't think that it's in the same spot every year.
I highly doubt it is.
So, yeah, that is super impressive. They have to dress each doll individually. I feel like they changed, because it went through a closure last year in, like, late fall of 2023. And when we went in February of this year, I was like, I think that's new. That character's new. This isn't a new spot. Like, I feel like they've changed a lot about that ride, too. But then I'm like, maybe I'm just going insane, because I went to Florida's Small World, like, the July before. So I was like, I don't know. Maybe I am just losing it.
Well, no, I think ever since they did the big refurbishment where they added all of those Disney and Pixar characters into it, I think they go in and they regularly update it. Because, I mean, I think, well, no, it was after Frozen, so they have Anna and Elsa in there.
Yeah.
But I think they go through and they do stuff like that, because why not change it up? Because, like we said, Disneyland's for locals, and there's only so much that you can watch before you're used to it. But funnily enough, everyone regards Small World as such a creepy attraction, especially if you've read Kingdom Keepers.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I think, honestly, if they did a Halloween overlay in there, that would be one of the most popular attractions during the Halloween season.
Oh, that would. But
I don't know what they would do,
yeah,
but...
then that's 2 different times that they have to close the ride down
Yeah.
for just dressing the dolls.
Yeah.
And I would love, I know someone has done it, maybe even ChatGPT knows exactly how many dolls are in that ride, because there are a ton. And
Yeah.
they all have, I think it's 2 backup sets of clothes, because there have been fires that have happened and burned down some dolls, but
And
like
people who are not very smart and get out of the boat. Please don't get out of the boat.
do not get out of and keep your clothes on.
Oh my gosh, please keep your clothes on. Please stop getting belligerent in Disneyland. There are children there.
And don't drink the water.
Do not drink the water.
Just never drink the water. Cast members in Florida at the Moana attraction have to deal with that all the time. People get very sick. It's not horribly awful, but it's not drinking water.
Yeah, it's
like,
not clean water. People are putting their
Yeah.
hands through that stuff all day. You're not supposed to put your hands, of course, in the water at, like, you know, Small World and Pirates of the Caribbean, but people do. Everyone wants to feel the water. I may or may not have brought a bottle of Pirates of the Caribbean water home with me one time.
Do you still have them?
No, I gave it to my friend because she was going to make us all, like, little commemorative bottles.
Aww.
And it just never made it back to us, but I would not keep that bottle. It's
Yeah.
it probably has, like, some ancient protozoa in there or something.
I was gonna say, swab that, put it on a petri dish. Tell me what it looks like.
Yeah,
in
that's
2
probably
weeks.
like one of the best science projects you could ever do is
No.
just seeing what would grow. But I bet you they put so much chlorine in there, nothing could even live in it anyways.
Yeah, that too. And yeah, there's so many. I'm not gonna get off on my Pirates tangent because I love that ride so much.
Such a great ride.
But,
Again, another integral
yeah.
part of the park.
So, whoa, okay, so it's Small World will open in what we do, I agree, feels really late. November 15th. And then it is closed again from late January until spring. So that means there's probably some more addition Pixar characters, Disney Pixar characters, and
Maybe Bluey added to the Australia area.
oh,
That would be so cute. Seeing a little Bluey and Bingo in the style of Mary Blair.
Yes.
I
But
love Mary Blair.
also, something to note if you are going and you are a Small World fan, this is the 60th year of Small World because it was opened for the World's Fair in 64. So we have had 60 years of a world of laughter and a world of fear.
I'm not gonna cry again. I love that song so much.
I cry every time I hear that dang song.
I know, it's an earworm, but it's...
Listen to the second verse. It's not in the ride. The second verse is so cool. I love the second verse.
If you ever can listen to the soundtracks of the rides, they're usually available on Spotify. Greatest road trip playlist you can ever listen to, especially Radiator Springs Racers. Because every time I play that, when it gets to the big buildup at the beginning, I'm always coming around some big turn, and it's some beautiful canyon that I come on. I'm literally getting chills. I love listening to that song so much.
I have to say, when I was going on a Disney road trip, we were catching a flight out of Las Vegas. And so I was with a couple of my other friends, and I'm pulling on to State Street to go pick them up. And all of a sudden, the Indiana Jones theme is playing, and I was like, whoa! Yes! Yes! Like, dun 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 dun! We're on the road. And then, not too long into our drive, it was on the open road, and Life is a Highway. I'm like, yes!
Disney songs are just the best to listen to in the car. I don't know what it is. It's like when people, turn on, like, Mario music to do their homework.
Oh, yeah.
that's the same. Yeah, because it helps you like actually stay engaged with what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's what Disney music does for me for road trips. It just
Yes.
it makes the trip so magical.
All right.
Jungle Cruise is going to be closed from September 16th to October 13th, which is Columbus Day, mostly known as Indigenous Peoples Day. I'm not entirely sure what they're doing. I feel like it's just some routine refurbishments because I mean, when you have animatronics sitting in the water for so long, you always have to
Yeah.
do
Especially those
something to 'em.
piranhas.
Yeah. I'm surprised they're not just like rusty fish
Oh,
at this point.
it is endorsed by Coke, so
Yeah.
Coca-Cola will take that rust right out. Maybe they should make an ad about Jungle Cruise and Coca-Cola.
Honestly, if they just had like the chimps that were like
At the very end.
infiltrating like Trader Sam's, like drinking a glass Coke, that would be so cute.
Yes.
I do love that update though with the monkeys like getting into the store instead of having Trader Sam because they would always talk to him and he wouldn't say anything and I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also insensitive, of course, but
Yeah.
I mean, the Jungle Cruise, I like that it focuses on animals now. It makes it actually feel like you're just going through a river.
But I also really want it to have a riverboat picture.
Yes.
Like, when the elephant's taking the picture, like, why not?
Or, like, get it, like, periodically, like, when things shoot water at you, like, it takes a picture from this angle or from this angle. Like,
Yes.
it's always going at somebody.
Yes. And I would love it, too, if we could have, like, a dad joke submission thing where it's like, this would be a great dad joke. See if one of the cast members can work that in there. Because
Like, if the skippers could improv a little bit, I'd love, like, being able to just, like, ha-ha knee slap to them. I already know the jokes, and I think they're hilarious.
Hi guys, editing Kaylee again. So at this point, my phone got the notification that it was at 10% battery life, and so it decided to stop recording. So the rest of this is not going to be in video format, I promise. I'm going to actually charge my phone so that it will last us through the entire video next time. But hopefully one day we'll also get a lot better of a camera than just my phone. So thank you so much for supporting us. Thanks for hanging in with us and enjoy the rest of the episode.
Well, and when we went in, when was it?
Us in May?
No. Well, did we have a female skipper?
No, I don't think we did.
We went with, I think it was just Enoch and I on the boat, but I think we were with his family. We had a female skipper, and I was crying. She did such a good job. And I was like, we needed that. And then the next time I went, it was another female skipper, and I was like, yes, my hopes are so high, and it just
depends on the skipper
really,
because sometimes they just go so monotonous.
Yeah.
Especially like my favorite joke, the elephants one, like when they're like, elephants have such a great memory. And then they turn around and it's like, African elephant, known for its great memory. And I'm like, you have, like, please just put a little personality into it.
Yeah.
Love you guys. But I know they probably have to say it 1,000 times a day though, so like I'm not faulting them for just going through the motions.
But also, can a cast member that has been a Jungle Cruise skipper put on their resume professional dad joker?
I would hope so. It's probably one of like the highest esteems you can get at Disneyland. Like besides being a face character, I mean, Jungle Skipper is probably one of the nicest places because I think you have like your own fan. You get to stand on a boat all day, not in the sun.
Yeah, and it's not just a shaded boat ride. Like there is actual shade too. Like the sun's not just beating down on your little boat shade.
Yeah, so nice.
Yeah. Oh, but back on cast members, just a little tidbit I wanted to add. You never know who your cast member will become.
Yeah.
Because Steve Martin started out as a Disneyland cast member in the Magic Shop.
Yeah.
And he has since signed a picture. It's there. You can go and check it out. But, like, you never know who your cast member will be someday.
Yeah. Just... I mean, we all start somewhere.
Yeah.
That's like the baseline of it. We all start somewhere.
Yep.
Let's see what else. Space Mountain will be reopening September 5th. I'm not entirely sure if they're doing Ghost Galaxy this year.
Huh. Wait, what is Ghost Galaxy? Because
That's when they do the overlay, and it's a little bit more frightening. So, like, if you have, like, younger children, of course, you have to just be aware of, like, what your child can take. But there's, like, projections of a ghost that, like, follows you around and, like, jumps out at you every once in a while.
Sounds very dizzying.
Yeah. Did you ever go when it was, like, the Star Wars overlay?
Hyperspace Mountain?
I did love it, but I think it lit up the track a little bit too much.
Yeah, I have been there during Hyperspace Mountain, and I was bummed about that. But if we are talking about scary overlay, Guardians of the Galaxy, Mission Outbreak, Monsters at Night, or
Monsters After Dark?
Yeah, Monsters After Dark. It is so fun.
Yes.
And you do have to prepare your littler ones for harder drops, faster falls, faster uptakes, way louder music, and way more adrenaline inducing music. It was like what I would consider more heavy metal, but it was so fun.
It's still so much fun. Honestly, Joe Rohde did such a great job with that overlay. We were all so sad to see the Tower of Terror go. But, you know, again, like the modern...
Go visit it or Disney World.
In Disneyland Paris is where, like, the same track of California Adventure is in Disney Paris. So if you are willing to splurge, go to Disney Paris. But it's the same thing. Yeah. It's the same thing with, like, Tom Sawyer's Island. Like, we just don't have the same kind of attachment. We don't have the same kind of attachment to the Twilight Zone like we used to.
That's true.
Been completely...
A generation skips kind of a thing.
It's been embedded into the cultural zeitgeist. Like, everybody knows what the Twilight Zone is. Everyone knows about its history, but it just isn't the same, especially now with Avengers Campus. Like, the Tower
and Marvel being what it is.
The Tower of Terror just would not fit there anymore.
No.
And Guardians of the Galaxy is awesome. It's longer, the music's great.
Yeah.
I feel like there's an actual purpose to the elevator dropping rather than just, like, you're being transported back into a world where the lightning hit the elevator and these people disappeared. Yeah. Because it was just, like, yeah, there was a purpose to the elevator dropping, but it wasn't, like, you're following the exact story of the people who disappeared. But now it's, like, you're actually moving with a purpose. Like, you're moving to help.
Yes.
And I appreciate that very much.
And that the track changes, not like ride track, the audio track changes every time you go on it. I think I've, on separate occasions, have had the same track, like audio track, but I have not had it the same back to back. Which is so fun.
Yeah. And, I mean, the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack is already, like, top cinema soundtrack.
Yes. Yes.
Like, Fault in Our Stars, of course, will always be at the tippy top for me. I was a huge John Green girl in middle school.
Yes.
But what a great combination of music. The people who do soundtracks for movies really put their heart and soul into things. And you can tell the research that they put into it.
Yes. Along with those who do music scores. But let's continue on. Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. I'm going to skip the Main Street Electrical Parade because I am in denial. I don't want that one to leave, but it has no return date. So
it is also in Disneyland Paris.
Oh.
And they kind of, they allude to it at Walt Disney World with the drone show that they now have.
That's true. They do, yeah.
Of course, anything that you want to watch, you can watch on YouTube. It's not the same as being there in person, but
you can. I'll still cry every time.
Yeah. Don't even get me started on World of Color. Bawled there last time.
Yes.
Tiana's, like we said earlier, there's not an official opening date yet. I'm sure they're going to have soft openings in the next few months. Fireworks, I mean, they go through a cycle all the time just because they want to keep everything fresh. You're never going to see the same fireworks go for 50 years because new shows come out. You know, again, we're not tied to old media like we used to be. Just because there's always so much coming out all the time that it just is like there's new information being processed. We're trying to cater more to the younger people, which is, I mean, Disneyland is for the young and the young at heart.
Yes.
I think Walt said in his speech, his opening day speech, that this is not just for children, it's for the people who are also children at heart.
Yes.
So catering to the younger generation, bringing like Disney Junior into California Adventure.
That
Great.
was really good.
Yeah, I
But
love the...
sad to see some things go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once Bear in the Big Blue House left Disney's California Adventure, it hurt my heart so much. I love Bear in the Big Blue House.
I didn't even know it was there, but now I'm sad that I missed it.
Yeah, it was so cool. They like opened this giant storybook and he like came out, but I mean, that's probably like my
I'm so sad.
small 3-year-old brain remembering this completely differently. Because like, you know, the bear was real.
Oh yeah.
When I was that young.
It's like
it
when
still is real.
It's like when watching Bluey, I've noticed this, and I commend those animators, hardcore and writers, to like Bluey and Bingo are climbing Mount Mom and Dad, and like when my daughter climbs on me, it is maybe 2 feet that she is moving or going from her knees to her feet. But they make that just like, oh, it is such the adventure. And so just that whole imagination playing on what your brain will remember and how it really will feel for you 10 years down the road.
100%. Bluey is not just for children. The episode where Bandit, is that the mom's name?
No, Chili.
Chili, where she's talking about Bingo is learning to walk, Bingo is learning to walk, and she was talking about how it took Bluey a long time to learn how to walk, and she's just like comparing herself to other moms. That ending always makes me cry so hard.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Where Bluey eventually walks, and her kids are like, well, maybe she just found something she wanted to go to, and it's this cut of like Bluey's perspective looking at her mom and starting to walk towards her. I've cried so much during this episode.
That's so cute.
I love Disney. I love Disney so much. And the animators of Bluey, you just know what you're doing.
Yeah, Ludo Productions.
Appreciate you guys so much,
big
especially
high
for
five.
understanding the child psyche.
Yes.
But California Adventure, let's talk about the closures there. The entire
Yes.
Animation Academy building is closed, which I did not understand how great it was to actually go in there and do like one of those little drawing demonstrations until we went. It was so much fun. I mean, it was a great way to cool off during the day, and we got to actually sit down and like process our day a little bit. We got to learn how to draw Pascal.
Yes.
That was our day. And I've always had the best time going through like the Sorcerer's Workshop and everything downstairs.
Yes.
I loved going through that, especially when it used to be where Anna and Elsa is now used to be Ursula's lair, and you would go in and you'd sing karaoke, and then she'd be like, haha, I got your voice, just kidding, I guess you need it back, here you go. And it was like, okay.
That's awesome.
Because I just love singing and showing off to other people, because I was like, what if a producer is in here and you can hear me sing? There never was, clearly, because I'm not famous.
But I would assume the reasoning why Animation Academy, Turtle Talk with Crush, and Sorcerer's Workshop are all closed, along with Anna and Elsa, is because they are taking out Beast Library, which is a big sad. If you haven't been there, didn't get to experience that, you would walk through the Sorcerer's Workshop.
Where you learn how to do, like, animation. So, like, you draw,
animation
like, a
on
ball
reel,
jumping. Yeah. Very cool.
Very, very cool. You'd walk past, like, all the way through that and down a little ramp. And there's these, like, big reading chairs and books that you get to, like, take your picture. And then you get to answer, like, a little personality test. And it deems you a character. And I think the first time I did it, I got Alice in Wonderland, which I was like, Alice from Alice in Wonderland. It's like, oh, that's cool. Like, I have never considered her as being a character who would resemble me.
Yeah. I don't think every time I took the quiz, I got a different character every single time.
You were just in your moody Disney phase.
Yeah.
Just
But
kidding.
it just, I mean, they have so many characters that they have.
really
I'm
do.
sure, like, no one gets the same one twice.
I'm sure that it's hard to keep that thing updated.
Mm-hmm.
Which is probably another little nod.
We saw how run down those books looked last time we went.
And back to just germs. You know, it is too much to keep a cast member stationed to wipe those down, so...
And that room is also a little startling for children, I would say, too, because it goes from...
wilted rose.
Yeah, the wilted rose, so, like, everything gets dark, it gets super thundery outside, the beast's portrait is slashed, just like in the movie. And then it, like, gets restored, and the library is beautiful again, but it can, of course, be startling for children. Yep. The technology is just old, too. Even if they weren't getting rid of it. It wasn't,
the great period of technology.
Yeah. It was the 2000s, so, like, it was amazing for the time. But now we've got, you know...
That was the puberty
AI
period
and
technology.
I mean, we've all seen the Spider-Man animatronic that flies over Avengers Campus. Like,
yes.
How far technology has come just in that small amount of time. Like, it's just, even if they weren't getting rid of it, it was time for an update regardless.
Yes, it was.
We'll say that much. And then, of course, the Paint the Night Parade. Don't know when it's going to come back, but I mean, for the rest of the year, it's going to be holiday-themed parades anyways. Not that California Adventure doesn't really have parades outside of the parade that goes through for the Oogie Boogie Bash. So
yeah, when I went in January, and then when we went in May, both 2023, they had like a Pixar parade per se, but it was mostly just the Incredibles characters and Mickey and Minnie.
Right.
And maybe Goofy.
Because they have the citizens of Buena Vista Street. Not as much as they used to pre-COVID, but they have like I can't remember what she's called, but the jazz singer that goes around on that cool old-timey car that goes around and she sings jazz songs. I think she's supposed to be kind of like modeled after Tiana. I'm not entirely sure. And they used to have the Newsies come in on the red rail car. And Mickey Mouse would come in and sing with them. It was really cute. It was super cheesy. But I loved it. I loved standing there and singing along to it.
Yes.
I felt like a local.
And that's the purpose of California Adventure, especially when they first opened it with all of the traditional California things. And now it has turned more San Francisco, and it is a very cool overlay. Have you been just when we went?
I haven't been since San Francisco opened, no. Okay. I'm very excited to go see it. I mean, yeah, they still kind of hold on to the California roots with Buena Vista Street, of course, Hollywood Boulevard. I miss Muppets 3D Vision every single day. I'm happy we still have Mike and Sully's, but we'll see what happens. But it kind of has turned more into like Disneyland is for Disney and California Adventure is for Marvel and Pixar kind of a thing.
And I don't mind that, too. Yeah. I do think it is very interesting, just that it has been more happenstance than anything, but that you have one Pixar ride in Disneyland, and you have one Disney ride. Now, Big Hero 6 is kind of the exception in along Pixar Pier, with having Nemo, and that, I know that it's not your favorite, but I love Nemo's ride so much.
Oh, that anglerfish.
Oh,
it upsets me so much. I can't stand to ride it. Like, if I ever went on it. The last time we went, we split up. I went to Space Mountain and she went to Nemo's.
I was also pregnant.
Yeah. So, obviously she can't ride Space Mountain. But, yeah, I just can't. Sometimes I watch it, like, on YouTube to, like, try and, like, exposure therapy myself. But I still can't do it. I saw this video on TikTok a while back of, like, people working on the anglerfish. Well, it made me feel so uneasy.
To add to it, female anglerfish eat male anglerfish, and then that's how they reproduce. The eggs ooze out, or like the baby like oozes out, like total alien nonsense. Anglerfish are probably one of the creepiest things.
That's why they live at the bottom of the ocean, and they're meant to stay there. If any of y'all ever decide to put an anglerfish in an aquarium,
Please no.
Please don't. I don't know what I'd do, but I'd probably just never go to your aquarium.
My friend Josie's probably listening to this and is like, but I like anglerfish. Because she is a big deep sea creature.
They're important to the ecosystem somehow. And they can stay that way out of my sight.
Yeah.
And then also Rogers the Musical. That
Okay.
was such a huge hit
Yeah,
for
it was.
anyone who is a big Marvel fan.
And we barely missed it, right? Like,
Yeah.
opening day was, like, in June, and we went in May.
Yeah. But I have yet to see any of the Marvel series outside of the first season of Loki and WandaVision.
Oh.
I'm just also not a Marvel person. Please don't come at me. I always like to think of it as like, I don't take in as much, so you can take more. That's like my thought process with like everything,
That's
even
right.
food. I don't eat it, so you can have more of it. That's my whole thing. But yeah, that's all the closures. There's not too many. There's nothing really too crazy going on in the park. It's just the Oogie Boogie Bash, and it's going to be holidays from now until midway through January. So if you want to go on a normal ride, I would highly suggest you wait until February.
Yep.
And February is also like the ideal time for me to go. At least that's when my
Come
family
with
always went.
me!
Yes, come find Annie in the park.
I will be there.
But yeah, that's everything we have for today.
Yeah.
If y'all ever have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. If you want to get a quote or a budget request from us, you can feel free to find that on our website. You can even choose like which of us you want to work with as a travel agent. There is a thing that you can click to say I want to work with Kaylee or I want to work with Annie. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube.
Like and subscribe. Have your friends like and subscribe. And are we on Apple Podcasts yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
There are so many
Podcast
like
platforms.
podcast platforms and so many accounts that I have to make. I'm like, I have to do it very slowly.
It's okay. That's how you eat an elephant, one bite at a time.
Yeah. And please, please, please donate to our donation fund on the website. We want to be able to send deserving families to Disneyland. And we want to be able to have like fun giveaways so that you all can enjoy your time at the park without having to worry too much about your budget and money.
Yeah. If there's 100 of you that can donate $2, you all skip your swig for the week. That's it. Boom.
Yeah, I know
We have
for-
one step in the right direction.
Yeah, I know for my family of 6, 5 adults and 1 kid, I think our total came out to about $3,000.
Yeah.
So, and that was for 3 nights and 2 days in the park.
Okay.
So,
And that's just a there and back. That's a 5-day boom.
and like you
Or
don't,
4, whatever.
if you don't have anything to give, just nominate someone that you know or share our podcast and share our website with other people who can donate, because we understand the magic of Disney, and we also understand the magic of being able to give someone who deserves it a reprieve from their hectic life.
Yeah. Their
And
moments.
yeah, our main point of this podcast is get people to Disney from Utah by any means necessary.
Yeah.
But yeah, like us on everything. Check us out. We are so happy that you guys have been supportive of us so far. We've been getting such an influx of comments on likes on Instagram. I'm just so happy.
And if you know us personally, we love hearing the texts, calls, all of the things. It's been so fun to just hear positivity about something new that we're doing in a pretty brave way, in my opinion.
yeah, I'm really putting myself out there. If you have any comments about the podcast, if something's that you want to see, any stories that you want to share with us, there are also places to do that on our website. But yeah, thank you for joining us today.
And we'll see you
In
at
the
the
park.
parks.